Yeah, so I was born with cystic fibrosis. It's a genetic disorder of the lungs mainly. And so my whole life I knew that I had, major health issues. And the life expectancy for people with CF is around 35 years old. And so most of my life I knew I would eventually try for having a lung transplant. And it came to the point where my lung capacity was down to in the 20s or 30, like 20 or 30%. Yeah, so before my transplant, I was married before, and we had both grown up in the church and dated, the way we were supposed to, and got married and had our first son, and we'd been together probably a total of 10 years at that point. And right after my son was born, my husband left, and at that point I was starting to get more sick as well. And so growing up in the church, we're told to, do ABC and follow these steps and, live the way the Bible says. And, what's implied is that your life will turn out perfect. And, you do all these things in order and you do the right steps and you have a good life. And it was very shaking to my faith. Well, not necessarily to my faith, because it was deeper than that at that point, but it kind of shook everything you thought was true about how God worked. If you do the right thing, then you get the right outcome. And that wasn't true in my life. And, my marriage ended and my health was declining. And, for the most part, I had done, all of what I knew to do to please the Lord. And so there's so many lessons to learn, but I think the biggest thing was to realize that you're not in control, and you have to trust God no matter what. When you're not in control of, I'm not in control of my health. I can't decide when I'm going to get a transplant, or if I'm going to get a transplant, or if I'm going to live at all. And so many other things in life were up in the air, and just being okay with just whatever God had planned. So God just gave me a peace that was out of this world. And I really didn't doubt that I would get lungs, but I knew that if I didn't, I would be okay with that too. Obviously my main concern was for my son. He was only 4 at the time, and I was a single parent, and I wasn't ready to leave him, thinking about my son not having a mom, and he was young enough where I wasn't sure if he'd remember me. But as far as me, I had, like I said, I had peace about it, and I knew it was going to work out, and I think that was just the Lord, His blessing for me in that time, because there was no guarantee, and I had no indication that I would live another 2 weeks. For those that are suffering now, know that there's purpose in it, and you may or may not know what it is in this life, but resting in Christ is the only thing you can do to get through it in a healthy spiritual way. He's more than enough, and I think suffering causes us to learn to trust God more, and it develops character and endurance, and whatever you're going through gives you something to minister to other people with. Every day I have now is a gift that I didn't have. It wasn't guaranteed to me, and that's true for anyone. You don't know how many days we have. People assume that you're going to live to be old and gray and have grandkids, but I hope I can, but I don't know that for sure. I feel like He's promised me things that give me a lot of peace right now, just regarding my future and things that He has for me to do. And He's blessed me with a new family and a husband and 2 more kids that I never thought I'd have. So that's really cool.